Good morning, dear student. I, Aditya Bhatt, Assistant Professor in Civil University, Bhopal. I am taking an engineering drawing, and I am delivering a lecture which is based on section of solid. In the previous lecture, I have already discussed about what is the meaning of section of solid. Now here, I am starting with the method used in a section of plane. First method I use section of plane perpendicular to BP. The simple meaning, whenever a section of plane perpendicular to BP, so now this one is the position when our cutter is perpendicular to BP. So it means either it is a parallel or inclined to the HP. So we will focus only horizontal section plane. So another word we can say about this method, our section plane parallel to HP. So the word term will be mentioned on the question. You will identify what is given. Either it is a perpendicular to BP or parallel to HP. So now I'm considering here our section of plane parallel to HP. So when we will consider section of plane parallel to HP, it will never cut top view. Remember this thing, you will never cut top view, because now you are using section plane perpendicular to BP or section plane parallel to HP. It will always cut front view, and the position of cutter will also parallel to X5, and the position of cutter will also parallel to the X5. So in this case, when horizontal section plane you use, it is plane parallel to the HP as shown in figure, and its front view is a straight line parallel to XY. Clear? And this line also represents the vertical trace VT of the section plane. So you will also remember, now you are using the word, but now you are using the word vertical trace. So third, this plane has no horizontal trace. You will remember, whenever you use section of plane parallel to HP, you will use what VT here. So this plane has no horizontal trace. When an object is cut by a horizontal section plane, the sectional top view of the object gives the true shape of the section. Now, another word I'm using here, inclined. It is also similar same. Now I'm using the auxiliary inclined plane. It means our section plane inclined to HP. When theta is responsible here. So auxiliary inclined plane is a plane perpendicular to BP and inclined to HP. So now the consider you will focus perpendicular to BP. That means you will cut front view only, because the cutter position is perpendicular to BP and inclined to HP. So the both traces will applicable here, vertical trace and horizontal trace, but we use only vertical trace because horizontal trace is shifted to end of the object. So its front view is a straight line inclined to Q to XY. This line also represents the vertical trace of the section plane shown in figure. So the horizontal trace plane is a line perpendicular to XY. When an object is cut by an auxiliary inclined plane, the true shape of the section is obtained by projecting the apparent section of the object on another plane parallel to the section plane. So this is called the auxiliary inclined plane. Now I move to next method, section plane perpendicular to. Sorry, I'm using the wrong word here. It is not a perpendicular to BP. It is a perpendicular to HP. So the section plane that is perpendicular to HP, it may either parallel to or inclined to BP. So now I'm using the section of plane parallel to BP. So now this is the position when our section of plane parallel to BP. In this case, it will never cut front view. It will always cut top view. And the cutter position will also parallel to XY. Now here the cutter position horizontal trace, which is parallel to XY. But now in this case, you will cut only top view. And sectional view will be front view. So its top view is a straight line parallel to XY. This line also represents the horizontal trace of the section plane shown in figure. When an object is cut by a section parallel to the VP, the sectional front view of the object with the true shape of the section. Now, next one is the auxiliary vertical plane. So in this plane, perpendicular to the HP. Now focus perpendicular to the HP. So the meaning, whenever a plane perpendicular to HP, it always applicable in horizontal trace. And horizontal trace is always cut top view. You will remember. And inclined to the vertical plane and shown in figure. Its top view is a straight line inclined to XY. This line also represents the horizontal trace of the section plane shown in figure. The vertical trace of the section plane is a line. Now I am discussing about this vertical trace. This vertical trace is no use here because it is separate in the end of the object. So when an object is cut by auxiliary vertical plane, the true shape of the section is obtained by projecting the apparent section of the objects on another plane parallel to the section plane. Now I'm giving the problem here. A pentagonal pyramid of base side 30 mm and axis 60 mm. So the solid condition is 30 mm base side and 60 mm height. Resting on it based on the HP. So when this term resting on it based on the HP, you will draw a top view first. With an edge of the base parallel to the BP. So horizontal section plane is cut by pyramid bisecting the axis. Draw its front view, section top view. So now first we draw a complete solid. Now here the position of cutter. Now I'm using the here horizontal section plane. Please remember, I'm using the here horizontal section plane. Horizontal section plane. It means it always cut front view. And the position of cutter will be parallel to XY line. So now suppose I am taking here the position of cutter is parallel to XY and denoted by vertical trace. And now it's cut the pyramid bisecting the axis. That means now this is above 60 mm height. So you will cut a point which is 30 mm because 30 is the midpoint of the axis. So bisecting the axis, it means half of the axis. So now it is the point we take, it is a 30 mm, either the below point or above point, above XY. So through this point, we will use cutter and the position of cutter will be parallel to XY. So now I'm using the cutter and as per theory, above portion you will remove. Now this above portion you will remove as per the theory. Remember? Now above portion you will remove and the remaining is the sectional view. So sectional view will be opposite. Sectional view will be opposite. You know it. Sectional view will be opposite. Now I'm drawing here. Sectional view will be opposite. Now focus. It is your. Now focus. It is your. No, I'm so sorry. Now focus. It is your sectional view, and we will draw with hatching line. So I think it's enough for this problem. Next slide will be based on another problem. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you very much.